Hey y'all, DBR back for another video. And I want to, I really don't want to dwell on this issue, but it's really bothering me that I feel like there is such a double standard in this world, but it's like in professional settings and trade schools and colleges and whatever else. I don't really think that there should be that big of a double standard when you're dealing with so many different people from all over the world, from different backgrounds, from different beliefs, and everybody has different interests. Everybody is different, period. So when when I sign up, for college, college is supposed to be one of the best, most freeing times where you get to find yourself and find your interest and really figure out what you're doing with the rest of your life. And I feel like for the last 2, 3 years, I've been robbed of that opportunity being a part of Sheridan Technical College because there's so many things that are such a double standard. Like, I wasn't allowed to wear hair and makeup, but anybody else was allowed to. But the only reason I wasn't allowed to is because I was male. So it was very sexist and very discriminatory. And I feel like that is such a double standard. That goes back to my other video that I made. Earlier this week about just being discriminated against, and it's a super duper double standard. And just because I might do, if I do it, it'll make people feel uncomfortable, so therefore it's not wanted. And everybody's looking to make sure that the clientele there feels comfortable and making sure that the staff feels comfortable. It's not about them, it's about the individual coming to get the education. If that's what they feel comfortable doing, if that's what is their way of self-expression, and my gender expression is very different from everybody else's, and I like it to stay that way. But when someone's telling me I'm not allowed to keep it that way because it doesn't go with what you're trying to do and the image that you're trying to give off for the school, and you're trying to please everybody and their mama because they're upset about something that really doesn't pertain to them, I find that to be a double standard. I find that to be ridiculous. If you're going to tell me to take my makeup and hair off, then you're going to tell every other black African American woman in this classroom to also take their wigs off and their makeup off, and we'll see how pretty they are after it gets taken off. So I feel like if you're going to do something, let it be done for all, because what's happening now is it's just flat out discriminatory, it's rude, it's disrespectful. And looking back on it now, I wish I would have said no, but I was just so in shock because was very much caught off guard. And this just goes to show you that the double standard will never go away, even in places where it shouldn't exist, where people come from all walks of life to get an education. Like, you don't tell a person of Asian descent not to wear their cultural clothing. You don't tell an Islamic person not to wear their head covering. Like, who the fuck do you think you are to be able to tell somebody what they can and cannot do? And it just really opened up my eyes that discriminatory behavior still exists. Sexist behavior still exists. And I was so very invested into all these people, and I was, thinking that they had my best interest at heart, and all of these things. But it turns out that there was a lot that was being said about me and the way that I expressed myself than I knew about, which was very disrespectful and very hurtful when I really got to thinking about it. And so the double standard for me is always been an issue, even when it doesn't have anything to, like, even if it doesn't have anything to do with me. It's just the double standard, period. Girls can walk into the boys' bathroom, but when boys do it, they're automatically rapists and pedophiles and yada yada. So it's just double standard, period, around the world that bothers me. But in this particular case, I'm having a personal experience with the double standard that actually affects me. And that's why I'm feeling so strongly about it today, right now. And maybe I would feel a little bit different about the situation I had I been told differently, or had I been approached differently about it, if she had come to me and said it a different kind of way or presented it a little bit differently, maybe then I wouldn't have taken it this hard. But of course, I'm going to take it this hard and really go to the extreme with this because you're changing someone. You're putting somebody in a box. You're trying to control the narrative. You're trying to probably eliminate things before it even happens, before it even becomes a thing. Probably just trying to make sure that you don't have to deal with anybody saying that they feel uncomfortable. I know what kind of low class pieces of shit, you know, take Sheridan services for all of us. I know those people. I meet them on a regular. I know the kind of people and their behavior and the things that they complain about are some of the stupid, most far fetched things. And I guess she's trying to nip it in the bud before it even becomes an issue. But the fact that somebody has to change for someone else to feel comfortable, if you don't feel comfortable, that's up to that individual to say, I don't feel comfortable with this. I'm going to go ahead and leave and do this service somewhere else. Well, of course they can't because they can't afford to go anywhere else. That's why they come to the school. But at the same time, it's like you don't have the right to tell us what you feel uncomfortable with because we're doing you a favor by giving you a $200 service for $10, $15. So if I were you, I would shut my mouth and deal with whatever it is. If you really want it that bad, you keep your mouth shut and you endure what you have to endure. Me, for instance, I don't think that I should have to come into my field in my profession, and me being the professional, I have to go out of my way to change myself for you. I shouldn't have to change myself for anybody. Not for any of the administration, not for any of the teachers, and not for any of those fuck ass students. Y'all are not paying my bills. You guys are not putting money in my pocket in any way, shape, or form. You guys are not doing anything for me. The only reason I come there is to get my education, and that is it. How I get my education and what I'm wearing while I'm doing it shouldn't be any conversation to have. And it's a total double standard because I was looking around and all the kids are coming up to me asking me, why did you take everything off? But I had to keep a tight lip, and I'm kind of thinking, why am I keeping this to myself? Why am I not telling them why I really took it all off? Because if it was up to me, I would have kept it on all day long. Why am I not letting it be known? And that was me trying to do the proper thing. And you know what? Let me not start an issue. Let me not make this a big deal. But the other day, that all changed when I put that video out. And I hope all the necessary people saw it. And I don't feel bad and I don't regret it, and I could care less how you feel. Because when you screw with me, when you screw with my image, when you screw with what I stand for, I have a problem with that. And I'm going to come back guns a-blazing. And I hold grudges like I hold a ham sandwich. So, for me, things will never be the same between me and any of the individuals. Once I have a preconceived notion of something, that's it. I don't trust you anymore. I don't like you anymore. You better not talk to me. I am that kind of person. You get cut off immediately. And of course, them being an adults and the professionals, they don't give a shit about me. They don't give a shit about any of us students. They come there, they do their job, and they leave. Okay? That might not be too far-fetched to say, because I can see it in their actions. They could care less about a personalized relationship with any of us, because at the end of the day, they're still getting their paycheck and they're still doing what they love to do. They're still teaching. They can do, they come to work and do their craft and what they're passionate about, but I can't do that same thing as somebody who's going into the field. What are you teaching everyone else? What are you teaching the people younger than you? What are you teaching the next generation? To conform? We're still on that. It's 2020. Things are different now. You need to adapt. Not me. Because what I'm seeing is a whole bunch of people from years and years ago, from several different generations ago, trying to tell us how we should now be living. And it's not just me. That goes for every African American male that wears makeup. That goes for any male that wears wigs, makeup, anything. That's talking about a whole community of people. Gender non-conforming people, transgenders, androgynous people. Like it goes for like a whole community, not just me. I'm speaking for everyone and anyone in that could possibly go through this. I would hate for anybody that's either young or trying to figure themselves out or whatever. I'm already fully established. So this doesn't really affect me as it probably would for someone who's not as strong minded as I. And I understand that what I'm doing is going to result in some kind of reaction. And I'm okay with that because I don't give a fuck. Does it look like I give a fuck? Because I don't. I am at the point where I have finally said, you know what? I don't care who doesn't like it. I don't care who doesn't accept it. I'm going to do me. You don't have to like it, but you need to respect it. I've said that once and I'll say it again. And so for me, it's kind of like, do I really sit here and dwell over something that I cannot change? It might not be fair, but I can't change it. Should I just move on without addressing it? And I'm like, yeah, no, that doesn't sound like me. I'm going to confront the issue head on. I'm going to make the issue so big that they're going to wish that they hadn't gone there with me. Because if I don't, everything that I stand for goes out the window. Everything that I try to do and the message that I try to send for young people all over America, for young males, for people who do things the same way I do, for people that are unique. And being unique is lonely, and trust me, I know all about that. Sometimes, you know, it's better to stand alone than with a group of people. I'm sorry. In my experience, it's better to stand alone and stand for something than be a carbon copy of everybody else. And I will never, ever in a million years conform or be something that somebody doesn't see fitting for any environment. I'm allowed to be whomever the hell I want to be in whatever environment I choose to do it in. I don't care if it makes your clients feel uncomfortable or your patrons or whatever the fuck you want to call them. I don't care who is upset. I don't care whose beliefs it goes against, because that sounds like a PP to me. A personal problem, bitch. I don't care. I really, really do not. The double standard needs to stop. The conforming needs to stop. Leave people alone. Let people express themselves the way they want to. If you don't like something, you can tell them, look, you could have did this a little bit differently, or this is how you do this, so it, you know, it looks right. But then at the same time, I said that in my last video, but I don't truly believe that even that's the way to go. Because I'm somebody that doesn't ask for anybody's opinion. And I'll never ask for anybody's opinion. You want to know why? Because I don't give a fuck about your opinion. If I don't ask, don't tell me. Because I'm not interested in knowing. So for all of you people who feel like you guys just have to say something to me, that it's your duty to bring something up or bring something to my attention and tell me how to do this and tell me how to do that, and you don't like this and you don't like that, keep that shit to yourself, because I'm not interested. Never have been, never will be. And I guarantee you the people that are being ostracized for being different, they don't give a fuck either. Because they've dealt with enough criticism up until this point. And I'm speaking for everybody right now. Don't you think I hear it enough from the people that are closest to me? So what makes you think that just because a classroom full of people or an administration is unhappy that I'm supposed to change? a bunch of teachers that don't mean shit to nobody after graduation, you think that I'm supposed to stop and conform for even a time period. It doesn't work that way. I don't know where in your mind you think that it does. And I'm not talking about one specific person. I'm talking about probably all 6 people. And I'm talking about people who try to force other people to conform, period. This is a worldwide issue. This is a national issue. Not a me issue. I see it every day. Parents trying to make their kids be something that they're not. Trying to control their life, trying to control the career choice, trying to control their path. That ain't your business. That's not up to you to decide. Just like it's not up to Sheridan Technical College how I come to school. Is it breaking the law? No. Is it breaking any contract? No. Am I hurting anyone, most importantly? No. I might be hurting somebody's feelings. I might get somebody to do all of this, but at the end of the day, as RuPaul would say, people been talking since the beginning of time. Unless they paying your bills, pay them bitches no mind. So, at this point, I really do hope that this video goes viral. I really do. Because I feel like a lot of people, especially people like me, unique, authentic individuals, need to hear this. Need to hear that someone else is fighting their fight for them. This is not something that's easy to deal with. Not in the slightest. But at the end of the day, it's an issue that needs to go away. It's an issue that needs to be confronted. It's an issue that needs to be discussed. Nothing ever goes away without being discussed, without being brought up. This is not something that I or anyone else in my community or anybody else like me is going to brush under the rug. And I guess that's what y'all thought I was going to do. Take your advice and brush it under the rug. Not in a million years will I ever do that. And it just makes me so pissed to even think about it, because that very moment made me think of 15 years dealing with people trying to tell me what I should be doing, what I can and cannot do. When I made it very clear, I make it clear every day. I'm not interested. I don't give a damn who don't like me, who don't like what I do, who don't like. It could be the smallest thing from the color of my fucking shirt. I don't care. That's your business. Keep that shit to yourself. If I didn't ask you, I'm not interested in your input. Period. I don't care if you're looking into what's best for the school. I don't care if you're looking into what's best for the clientele. I don't care if you're just trying to do your job. Belittling people, destroying people's characters, telling them that they can't be themselves is not doing your job. It is actually doing the opposite of your job and breaking the law. Stay perfectly imperfect. Until I see you guys next time.